Yeah, I mean he's been around for a long time, so I think that experience definitely shows. And um, he just come in here and seemed to fit in pretty easily. And I think him and Flower have a good relationship and get along great. So he's done everything that he's come in here to do.
Dan called them the best goalie tandem in the league before camp started. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape in between that for sure. Those are two guys that are very capable of doing the job for us, and we're lucky to have that.
So how valuable is it to have a guy like UC Jokinen who can kind of play with anyone on any line, any position, just to have that kind of depth in your lineup?
Oh, it's nice. Especially we do have kind of a bunch of centers, so to take face-offs, and it's a job that you need to have different responsibilities out there, and to have guys that are comfortable. I think it helps everyone.
What are you guys trying to get out of these camp practices that you have, like 2 days in a row of the practices in the next few weeks going into the season? I mean, what's the goal?
I think timing and execution, um, competing. I think all those things that you get in a game that you try to work on in preseason and the games themselves. But I think in practice you can get something out of it too, and getting familiar and refreshed with everything you need to know and adjustments that may be different from last year. So there's a lot of things. There's no shortage of things that you need to do to get ready.
So I would think that preseason games, some of that same stuff applies. But curious, it's been a couple years since you guys have had preseason games to play. How much do you put? How much importance at all do you put on getting a win? Just if you have that feeling, as opposed to everyone getting their timing down, maybe looking at line combinations, getting sharp. I mean, how do you judge that?
Well, I think you try to balance it. I think you have to evaluate yourself, realistically, and know that you're doing the right things. That I think that ultimately the score does matter, but sometimes you're going to make mistakes based on just being a little bit rusty, that kind of thing. But I think overall you want to feel good about your game heading in the regular season. It's not something where um, you want to struggle in the preseason and you can just turn a switch on. So I think you definitely want to feel good about your game and feel good about the way your team's playing. So it's part of it. It's not everything, but you have to value yourself the right way, I think.
Say that flat out, this is not fair to compare because two different sports and everything. But the Steelers were 0-4 in the preseason. Now they're 0-2. People said, "Oh yeah, we know. We saw all those problems in the preseason." I mean, that's more of a perception thing. But I guess you want to avoid that kind of bad will thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. You want to be feeling good about your game, and you want to get results. Everyone's going through the same thing, so to say you're rusty is part of it, but so are the teams you're playing. So everyone's kind of in the same situation, and you definitely want to get results from the way you play.
Are you one of the guys that thinks that the preseason games later on in training camp are maybe a little more, something you look at a little bit more just because you've been cut, so it might be closer to the team you're going to take into the regular season?
Yeah, I think with each game, that anticipation grows, and I think the level gets higher, and everyone's probably playing in their natural positions or with guys that they'll most likely play with in the regular season. But that being said, I mean, there's guys on both teams that are competing for spots, and you're obviously playing for yourself and your timing, but there are guys here that you want to make sure you're doing your part to help them too. So I think everyone's in it together, but you definitely want to make sure that you get some good results.